How's it? This is a live show for anybody, not just YouTube Premium members, but we're doing a live show for anybody to jump on board here. I thought that would be fun. We're going to try to maybe do a live show like this once a week. The other 3 days, so Monday live show for anybody, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just for YouTube Premium. But today's a special day. It is the start of the football season, so to speak, with the Hall of Fame game. We won, by the way. We had the over, and we'll have YouTube Premium members and the normal YouTube folks here. But I hope you guys are doing well. So we should have a pretty good crowd today. Hope you guys are doing well. Hey, Sundeep, good to see you, man. So anybody can comment here, I believe. No video today. We were just kind of gearing up for the football season, man, and we'll have a video tomorrow and a YouTube Premium tomorrow as well. But hope you guys are doing well. If you have the games ready for tomorrow's ball games, go ahead and shoot me which games you want to talk about, and we'll start the research for tomorrow's ball game. And I know, hey Jaime, good to see you, man. Travis, good to see you. So we have some YouTube Premium folks, we have some normal folks here, but we should have a pretty good crowd. And it's got to work hard, man. Got to work every day. Got to work hard. So, um, an easy cover by the Raiders. Yeah, Donald, I'm glad to see the Raiders cover that game, and I'm glad to see that game go over the posted total. So that was great. All right, so the first game today is let's see. Uh, so game number one is Washington and Chicago in the WNBA. So let's talk about that game. By the way, nice winner today in the WNBA as we take the under, and that was a nice solid winner there for us. So Washington and Chicago tomorrow. Washington is a 5.5 dog, and Chicago is a 5.5 point favorite. I've always believed that whenever two good teams get together, games have a tendency to go under. Washington comes off back-to-back big wins over Vegas by 10 and beating Seattle by 3. So they come off back-to-back wins, 20-win team and a 23-win team. Washington has LA on deck. The last time Washington faced Chicago, they beat them by 2 points. So Chicago does have a little revenge. That game was at 155, and that game totaled at 166, which is interesting. And then you have Chicago here, who rolls in, lost 78-84 in their last game against Dallas. They were a 10.5 point chalk. You'd have to think they bounced back as a 10.5 point chalk. They had just beaten Connecticut prior to that in overtime on the road, and they had beaten New York. They had lost to Las Vegas and then lost to New York. It's interesting because the total last time these two teams met was at 155. The total this time is at 159. 70% is on the over. I can tell you my early leans right now. My early leans right now are the under, but also Chicago with revenge. And I actually think Washington might have a big letdown after that big Las Vegas win. Remember, Washington was down in that game, and they stormed back in the second half. But Vegas only had 8 turnovers in that game. They actually played pretty well. Any injuries that I'm missing here? Delle Donne is out on Friday. Did she play the last game? She did play the last game, only went 1 for 7. Well, that's interesting. Well, how do they do without Delle Donne? Normally, when a star player is out, games have a tendency to go over. So Washington could come together without Delle Donne, but also the game could go over. But the public is on the over, so I like nothing on this game. It's a really hard game to choose from, to be quite honest with you. Traditionally, when Chicago comes off of a loss, they have a tendency to go over too. This is a tough call. I actually don't like any of it. If I had to pick a side, maybe it'll be on Chicago, but without Delle Donne, Washington always plays really well. So that's a really hard game to choose from. I think there's better games out there. So my personal opinion right now, it's a tough game, man. I don't like either of it, to be honest with you. And I'm rarely in a situation where I don't like a game. Maybe a lean on the under. If I had to take a lean, I would take a lean on the under, simply because Washington comes off a big win against Vegas. Chicago comes off a loss. They'll typically play well on the defensive side coming off a loss. It'll probably go favored under. So if I had to pick a side, it'll be on the under. Okay. So game number one, I'll try to write this down, and then we'll do a recap. So game number one, I like Washington and Chicago under. Okay. Now moving on to game number 2 here. Will we put out any preseason NFL games? Yeah, we did, Sandeep. We put it out today, and we will put it out next week as well. So every single week we'll have NFL preseason selections. We had a winning NFL preseason year last year, so we're looking to have an NFL preseason winning season this year too as well. What's up, IC? Went on the best run of my life a week ago, and have been getting smoked ever since. Looking to bounce back. Well, hopefully we can try to help you, man. Hopefully we can try to help you. Rob, Padres and Dodgers. All right, let's do that. That's game number 2, Padres and Dodgers. Hey, Seahawks strike. Good to see you, man, Ubby. It's been a while, dude. Good to see you. Padres and Dodgers. Let's see here. So that game is at 10:10. Padres coming off a 3-7 loss. Actually, yeah, Padres coming off 3-7 loss. 9-1, 3-2, 13-5, 4-1, 3-2. Padres 15 games above 500. Out hit 14-9 last game. That's got to irritate them. Dodgers coming off beating San Fran yesterday, sweeping the Giants, winning 5 in a row, winning 8 of 9. Last time these two teams met, San Diego won 4-2, but prior to that had lost, 4 in a row. Interesting, obviously, Padres made a lot of changes, right? Brought in a lot of big names, and now these two teams are finally going to hook up here. A lot of interest from everybody. Padres aren't a huge, massive dog, and given that. Manaea pitches for the Pods today, the former Oakland pitcher. Went 4.76 last time, or 4.66 last time, got roughed up by the Dodgers. Coming off a 6-4-2 game against Minnesota, roughed up against the Tigers, 6.73, 6.52. He could pitch better. He has a 4.25 ERA, but the Dodgers might want to show that the Dodgers are for real. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is they might show you might make all these changes, but we're still going to crush you, especially given the better pitcher they have today. Gonsolin pitches 5.53 against Colorado last game, 6.64 prior to that, 5.75 prior to that. He's given up a home run in each of his last 5 games, 7.41 against San Diego. What's the total at? Total is sitting around, 8.5? It's kind of high, right? I don't trust both these pitchers. I like the over in this game. Yeah, I think Gonsolin gets hit because the Padres have revenge against him. And I just don't fully trust Sean Manaea here on the road. Sean Manaea hasn't put together an elite quality. He's given up at least 5 hits in his last 4 out of 5 starts. He's given up 4, 5, 6, 7 home runs in 5 games. No, I like the over there. So game number 2, like the Padres Dodgers over the posted total for tomorrow. Rob, I hope that helps you. How's it, Rob? Good to see you. Donald Mal, good to see you, man. Braves Mets. All right, let's move on here to the Bravos and the Mets. Braves lost 6-4 today. Braves looking to bounce back tomorrow. This game's at 7:10 tomorrow. Braves lost 4-6 and 1-3. They're behind the Mets by a couple of games, but this loss really hurts them. 13-1, 1-6, 6-2, 5-2. Big wins, 4 in a row, but now they've lost back-to-back games. They typically don't do that. Mets are rolling, man. Mets have won 8, 9 of 10. Braves are down 5-0, and then they came back to make it 3-5. Maybe they start off faster in this game, which is their hope, right? How many in a row have the Bravos lost now to the Mets? They've lost 1, 2, 2. They've lost 3 or 4 to the Mets. Ian Anderson today, pitching for the Braves. He went 5-1 last time against the Braves and beat them. He went 6-1-0. I'm sorry, against the Mets, I should say, and he beat them. So the Mets have revenge. He went 6-1-0 against Arizona. Great game. I could easily see the Mets winning again. The total's at 8.5. So the Mets should have success here, but the Braves should have success too, right? Because they're coming off back-to-back losses. They're facing Walker here. Walker has not faced the Braves this year. 5-7-3 against the Marlins, but got lucky. 6-7-3 against the Yankees. He's given up at least 7 hits in back-to-back starts, 3 home runs. Did pitch well against the Cubs and the Marlins, but they're not great teams. I like the over there. So I like the over because Atlanta comes off back-to-back losses. They're probably going to get to Walker, and then the Mets pitcher obviously comes off beating the Braves last. I'm sorry, Atlanta should get to Walker coming off back-to-back losses, and the Mets lost to Ian Anderson last time, and Ian Anderson comes off a quality start, so he's likely to have a letdown in the start. So I like the Braves I like the Braves Mets over the posted total. So keep an eye on that. Okay. Moving on to game number 4, and I'll recap this at the end, what all of our leans were. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to do this once a week where we give a free live show once a week, which is what we do for YouTube Premium members. So if you're interested and you enjoy this, jump on YouTube Premium later on. So we do a free live show on Monday. Today's Friday, obviously, or Thursday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just for YouTube Premium members, and YouTube Premium members get an extra video all the time too. So, all right, moving on here. Seahawks strike. Good to see you. Where was it? Where was what, Sandeep? Oh, the football play? Yeah, it's for football clients. It's at DocSports.com. If you click on Indian Cowboy, you'll see the football play. Today, it was on the over in the Hall of Fame game, so you have to purchase the football package for the season to get that. Ryan, White Sox, Rangers tomorrow. Sure, let's talk about that game. White Sox, Rangers tomorrow. 78% on the White Sox. That's scary. 22% on the Rangers. So far, we have the leans are Washington and Chicago in the WNBA under, Padres, Dodgers over, Atlanta and the Mets over. If you want a detailed analysis, just listen to the video. It's a recorded podcast. We try to give you about 5 thoughts before we jump off the video, 5 to 7 thoughts. Moving on here. So White Sox have lost. They lost 2-3 in their last game to Texas, 4-1 and 9-2 big wins over Kansas City. They'd won 4 of 6 coming in. They actually are 2 games above 500. The loss against Texas hurts, though. It's a game they could have won. They were favored. White Sox were a 134 dog or 134 favorite. Texas actually out-hit them 11-5, which is disappointing for them. Texas isn't bad. They're 12 games under 500, but that's not bad. 46-win team. So can the White Sox bounce back? Texas has beaten this team the last 3 times. That's interesting. And then you have Dylan Cease here, minus 186, 2.01 ERA this year is pretty phenomenal. He has not faced Texas this year. 6-4-1 against Oakland, 6-7-0 against Cleveland. He's won 4 straight games. He's pitching out of his mind. So the run line does make a little sense here, but it's a little scary that so many people are riding. Glenn Otto here. It's always scary whenever 78% of the public rides a team. Otto went 5-7-3 against Seattle, lost 6-5-3 against Texas, and lost 4-6-4 against Texas, or Oakland, I should say, Oakland, Seattle, and Seattle lost. He has pitched in 6 straight games where he has lost ball games. Interesting, the total is only 8, especially after Texas puts up 11 hits in this game. Yeah, I mean, my early lean here is on the White Sox run line or the under, but I typically don't like to take run lines. The question is, can Glenn Otto show up? And I think he can. I mean, he went 5-3-1 against the Orioles, who are a really good team, or 5-2-2 against Seattle. So I like the under a decent amount here. I think Otto steps up here, and I think Dylan Cease helps his team, especially after 11 hits last game. He has to bounce back, right? So I like the White Sox Texas under for tomorrow as well. All right, moving on. Rob, again, good to see you. That's a tough game. Is there a letdown? That's a tough game. Is there a letdown after San Francisco sweeping in San Francisco? Yeah, they could have a letdown. But I think given that the Dodgers, I think the over is more likely, especially if the Padres are active underdogs. I think they can get to Gonsolin. And then I think the Dodgers will have to play catch up. And I think Manaea is definitely hittable. So I like the over there. WNBA, LA versus Atlanta. Sure. Let's talk about that game. That game goes off, I believe, tomorrow. Atlanta's a 3.5-point chalk, 12-19 team versus 13-18 team. LA beat Atlanta by 9, right? Or by 7 last time. These two teams have split so far this season. Total of one. Excuse me. The total's at 161.5. With the last time they played, LA comes off an ugly loss. I shouldn't say ugly. It was a tight loss against New York, 61-64. The funny thing is, LA was up in that game 24-8, and then they lost, which is heartbreaking. 16 turnovers. New York shot 29% from three-point land. The early lean, I would think, is the over, especially since the last time these two teams met, it went to 163. And then Atlanta comes in, putting up 91 points on Indiana. They took out a lot of frustration on Indiana. They let Indiana sort of come back in that game. But Atlanta was up so big. Atlanta was up 46-56, 62-34, and they were crushing them. And they sort of let Indiana save face is kind of what they did. Last time they met, the total's at 161.5, and it went over. And this one is slated at 157.5. LA actually played pretty well against New York. LA didn't play that bad against some of these other teams too, but it's kind of scary. The total, they're only a 3.5-point favorite. That part is scary. Tolliver is out. Hayes and Durr and Billings out for the Dream. Did Tolliver play last game? Tolliver did not play last game. And as far as Hayes and Billings, yeah, they didn't play either. Yeah, I think the early lean for me is the over, even though it's kind of scary that they slated this at 163 points was last time, and it went over the 161. And now the total only comes out at 157. That part is scary. It's crazy. Atlanta has revenge, and they're only a 3.5-point dog. You would have thought that this total would come out much higher. I'm a little surprised, but I mean, I sort of lean on the over, and I sort of lean on LA. But if I had to pick one way or the other, but Atlanta also shot lights out last game, so they could have a letdown. Both these teams really need to have strong defensive performances. When did these two teams meet last? Like 2 weeks ago. Atlanta shot 45% and had 21 turnovers. LA had 53%. I'm going to surprise you. But LA can't shoot that bad. But LA is not a great shooting team. They only scored 66 points against Vegas. And Atlanta's a pretty good defensive team, I think. I mean, when they want to be. They give up 92 to Minnesota. I think this game goes over, and I just don't understand why the total is so low. Very surprised as to why the total is so low. So I'm either going to have to take the under here, simply because it doesn't make sense, or I'm going to have to go with LA. Has LA won any big games lately? They just always fall apart at the end. I'm going to go with the under. I'll go with LA and Atlanta under. And I think the reason why is Atlanta cannot shoot as well as they did last time. And it's a good public fade. And LA actually played pretty good defensive prowess against New York in their second game. And these two teams just met 2 weeks ago. So I'll take a lean on the under in that game for what it's worth. Moving on here, making dinner while watching. Nice, Rob. Nice, man. Moving on here. Let's see. What else we got here before we wrap it up here? We always go 20, 25 minutes. And today we opened it up to everybody. Normally we do one live show a week free for everybody. And then the other live shows Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are typically for YouTube Premium members. And then a YouTube Premium video every day. Let's see here. Hey, Corey, good to see you, man. White Sox money line and New York Yankees money line. Yeah, I think for the White Sox game, I wonder if you're asking about tomorrow. Yeah. So for tomorrow's game, for the White Sox game, yeah, I mean, I think the early lean for us is the White Sox Texas under. As far as the Yankees are concerned, Yankees, maybe a small lean on the under there. Let's see. Cortez went 5-5-2, 6-6-0, 7-4-1. He's pitching extremely well. 2.53 ERA. And then you have a St. Louis pitcher that comes in. Dakota Hudson. 4-4-2, struggled against Washington of all teams, 6-6-4, but did go 6-2-0 against Philadelphia. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Yankees are the only way to go there. I think that you have, even though St. Louis will be rocking, might be the best fan base in America, Nestor Cortez is the much better pitcher, so definitely lean on the Yankees there. As far as the Toronto game, let's see. Toronto coming off a 9-3 win yesterday. I don't think Minnesota has announced their starter, but Jose Barrios starts here against Minnesota. He went 7-3-2 last time and beat him, had 13 strikeouts, 7-3-1 against Detroit. He usually has a letdown, though. I sort of like the over early on. Yeah, I like the over between Toronto and Minnesota tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. Hey, King, good to see you. Samsung, good to see you. Jacob, King D, Jacob Walters, Corey, good to see all you guys. Do you think Bama whoops and covers the Utah State opening game? So we're still working on that. I'll tell you that, by the way, we're 1-0 to start the football season, by the way. Nice winner on the over in the Oakland game, which makes us very, very happy. Yeah, Alabama's a 38.5 point favorite, which is about standard. Utah State, of course, did really well. Utah State's not a bad team. They had beaten Oregon State. They'd beaten San Jose State, New Mexico State, Hawaii. That's why Alabama's only 38.5 point favorite. I actually sort of lean on Utah State that game. I think Bama could come out a little flat, and I think Utah State's well coached. So I actually lean on Utah State that game. Got it. Sorry, I thought it was on Twitter. No, it was the football play today was for football clients for the season. What site do you find percentages? They're everywhere. Just put public consensus polls on your Google, and you'll find them for sports betting. Diamondbacks, nice, easy money, fam. Jacob, good to see you. Checking in. Hey, Hawk, good to see you, man. Was the Padres game yesterday? Crowd was electric. Oh, yeah. San Diego is a different team now, right? So I'm really excited for them. By the way, we're about to wrap up in about 2 minutes here. If you blindly play Diamondbacks first 5 money line at home, that's actually pretty good. Tampa Bay Rays are awful. Love the picks, Icy. Hope we have a great weekend. Me too, man. Me too, for sure. Pirates, Orioles. Ryan wants to talk about the Pirates, Orioles, so let's talk about that real fast. And then I'll give you a recap of all of our leans, and then you can watch the video again as to why we like each of those games. Pirates, not a huge underdog, but I do like the under, small lean on the under in that game. Best handicapper on YouTube. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Dewan. Appreciate it, man. Do I think Chicago will bounce back with Cease on the mound? I like the under in that game, by the way. Okay. By the way, David Williford has been with us for 6 months on YouTube Premium. So thank you, David. I appreciate that, man. Nestor Cortez is a stud. He is a stud. And I think with the crowd, how did these two teams do last time? When's the last time they met between the Yankees and Cardinals? What a series, huh? It's great for baseball. Yeah, they haven't met since 2017, and the Yankees won 4 in a row. The Cardinals haven't beat them since 2014, technically. But Dakota Hudson really struggles, so he's probably going to struggle there. I see been following since 2017. How do we feel about the Yankees? I feel good. They got clearly the better pitcher. I think you're getting value just because St. Louis is a popular team. But I don't think Dakota Hudson's a great pitcher. I think he's given up 7 home runs in his last 4 games or something, which can't bode well. I had the over in the Raiders as well. Yep, we're 1-0 to start the football season, so we're pretty exciting. Tyler Mahle style. Yeah, then I really like the over in that game then for Minnesota. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, guys, there we go. So let me give you a recap. We have about 8 leans here we came out with here. Game 1, Washington at Chicago in the WNBA under. Game number 2, Padres and Dodgers over. Game number 3, Atlanta and the Mets over. This is for Friday's games. Game number 4, White Sox and Texas under. Game number 5, LA and Atlanta under in the WNBA. Game number 6, the Yankees. Game number 7, Toronto and Minnesota over in baseball. And game number 8, an early lean on Utah State over my Alabama Crimson Tide. Hope you guys are doing great. And I will see you back here tomorrow. YouTube Premium. I'll see you on your live show tomorrow as well. And then, so we're going to try to do a live show on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights for YouTube Premium. And then a live show on Monday for everybody. And then YouTube Premium, of course, gets that extra video every single day. And then, of course, you get the free pick and daily video leans, which is free for everybody as well. Hope you guys are doing great. I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Take care.